He called it teaching me manners. I called it watching my husband fall in love with someone else. Oliver Vance forced me overseas for wifely obedience training for the 6th time. All because I'd asked one question: that matching ring I gave you, why aren't you wearing it? His brow creased slightly, and then something seemed to amuse him. He let out a low laugh. Instructor Henson's been throwing a little tantrum. Said it was in her way. Tossed it. The words hit like ice water. I went rigid where I stood. He just smiled, full and pleased with himself, rubbing his thumb across the marks on his neck. You can't blame me for that. She's been spoiled rotten. If I hadn't tossed it, she'd have torn me apart. My eyes dropped instinctively to the angry red marks across his throat. My chest seized, and the tears fell before I could stop them. The next second, Oliver flung a tissue at me and tugged irritably at his tie. How are you still this fragile? All those lessons, all those rules, and you still can't learn to behave yourself and keep your mouth shut. Stop crying. Don't tell me you were actually naive enough to think putting some meaningless trinket on my finger meant I'd give you my whole heart. You really believed that? He probably expected the usual, me choking on my grievance, dragging the argument on, but I only cried in silence. I'd stopped hoping for even a scrap of sincerity from him a long time ago. All I wanted now was to be free of him entirely. Crying like that. God, you look ugly. Oliver held my gaze for a long, tight moment, eyes narrowed. Then his jaw loosened just slightly, and he leaned down to wipe the tears away. His fingertip grazed the bridge of my nose, light and careless. His tone was nowhere near gentle. Enough. The only reason I see her at all is because she can teach you proper etiquette. Teach you what it means to stay in line. Keep this up, the crying, the tantrums, and I'll stop coming home at all. I'll just stay with her. Tears still clung to my lashes, but inside, it felt like a 1,000-pound stone had been dropped straight onto my chest. The tears that had been pooling suddenly stopped, and everything in me went quiet. When I looked up again, there was a faint, satisfied amusement in Oliver's eyes that I hadn't noticed arrive. He reached out and mussed my hair. Usually the more I wipe, the harder you cry. Finally come to your senses? It's just playing along. Men flirt with women. That's how it works. You'd better get used to it fast. You fall apart this easily. What makes you think you're fit to stand next to me? Every word was like a soft thorn pressing into my chest. I lifted my face to meet those eyes, gentle, lingering, deceptively warm, searching desperately for the smallest trace of guilt. There was nothing. Only ease and indifference. I opened my mouth, but my throat was so tight it ached. What he called flirting, what he called playing along, that was real feeling wearing a convenient mask, and I was the one who'd wanted nothing more than to stand beside him. In the end, the only person trapped was me. Oliver's brow lifted, a flicker of triumph crossing his gaze, and he aimed the camera straight at my face. What are you staring at me for? Look at the lens. Apologize. Mean it. I'll put in a word with Instructor Henson for you. Get her to go a little easier next time. Then we'll call the whole thing settled. When I didn't react, his brow nodded. Talk. I laughed. Apologize? Davina Henson probably loved having a cautionary tale like me around. The camera's red light pulsed. I glanced at the time, and something clicked. I spoke up. Instructor Henson is nothing if not dedicated, even this late. I'm sure she wouldn't mind making a personal house call in her black stockings. But I'm a little tired tonight. Tell her to get some rest. Wouldn't want her boyfriend to worry. Oliver caught the implication. One brow ticked upward. I know you don't like hearing it, but you're the one with the filthy mind. Of course everything looks dirty to you. I looked at the seriousness on his face, and for a second my mind stalled. Davina showing up late at night to lecture me. It had happened far more than 3 times. At first, she knew she had Oliver wrapped around her finger and didn't bother hiding it. I never argued with her, so she'd use the late hour as her excuse and simply stay the night. Later she started staying past midnight, standing over me as I knelt for some supposed breach of etiquette. She'd even drink from Oliver's glass right in front of me, just to provoke. Afterward she'd brush it off with a casual, oh, I grabbed the wrong one, and that was that. The most recent time, she leaned into him on purpose. Half a glass of water spilled right down the front of her, plain as anything. Oliver didn't even glance at me. He went straight to the bedroom and came back with the most expensive set of pajamas he owned. His voice when he handed them over carried that easy indulgence. These should be about your size. Make do with them for now. I'll have new ones ordered for you. One thing after another, all so natural, as if it had always been his job. I stood there, limbs going cold, drawing one long breath until my eyes stung red. All right, you know what you did wrong. Fix it, and don't beat yourself up. He glanced at me, his tone turning cold. Instead of sulking, spend that energy learning from Instructor Henson. Learn what it actually looks like to be a considerate girlfriend, and stop with that resentful look. It's unpleasant for everyone. My head snapped up. A laugh scraped out of my throat. Learn from her? How to linger at someone else's house in the middle of the night, or how to seduce another woman's boyfriend. Oliver froze for a beat, irritation flashing behind his eyes. What nonsense are you spouting? I mean, you should learn from how willing Instructor Henson is to put thought into things for me. Those love confession cakes that are popular online right now? She made me one the other day. I liked it. This year, you're making me one too. He paused, his gaze settling on me, steady and unblinking. Didn't you say birthdays should be spent with the person who matters most? So Instructor Henson and I will eat the cake you make. Consider that you celebrating with me. The moment the words left his mouth, my hand flew to cover my mouth, choking down the wave of nausea. Bringing this up now, you don't find that the least bit ironic? I still remembered every detail. For years ago, Oliver with his arm around another woman, not caring who saw. His friends egging him on, and him smashing the cream cake I'd baked myself onto the floor, face dark, dropping a single line. Don't bring out something this unfit for the table again. Every stare in the room hit me at once, hard as thrown stones. No one breathed. No one spoke. Only Davina, holding out a tissue with a smile. It's not worth getting this upset over. Send her to me for some etiquette training. I'll give you back a whole new woman in 6 months. That day, my tears weren't even dry before I was put on a plane. Behind me, Oliver's friends and their weightless laughter. That woman's been spoiled completely out of control. Not an ounce of manners. You know what she gave young Mr. Vance for his birthday? Guess. A little cake she made herself. Tacky, cheap-looking, and an embarrassment to the entire Vance family name. He paused. Honestly, step it up. Who knows how long she'll hold his interest. She's being groomed as the future lady of the house, sure, but if she can't get with the program, that engagement is done sooner or later. That night, I was held down in a bathtub filled with frosting for 3 full hours. They watched me thrash and laughed, ignoring the contact allergy tearing my body apart. My vision kept going black, my hands swelling, every breath harder than the last. With the last scrap of strength in me, I keyed in the number I knew by heart.